Before we start this video, I'd just like to say thanks to Unknown Skymaster, one of my True Believer patrons on Patreon, for requesting this video. If you'd like to request a video, visit patreon.com/thebirdman to find out how.
A crappy cover version of a good song on the soundtrack. Get used to it because it happened with every single song.
Hold the hell on. If there is one thing most people agree on in this movie, it's the soundtrack, which is absolutely fantastic. Emiliana Torini's version of White Rabbit is the best version, goddammit. No takebacks, no erases, double stamp, quitsies, no startsies.
This guy shakes his head no, and we're supposed to know what that means. No, you didn't win Miss America? No, you don't have herpes? No, you're not being paid for this film?
For those of us with a functioning cerebral cortex, we can clearly see that this man is holding some sort of bag, which, coupled with his demeanor and Babydoll's subsequent reaction, means he's a doctor. That being the case, it's obvious he's telling her someone important to her has died. Come on, son.
Whatever it is he's saying no to, she runs into the other room in a panic, which helps me, the viewer, understand exactly diddly squat.
Okay, this is where I have a problem with you, CinemaSins. On your Twitter, a guy summarized what you do as comedic nitpicks that have merit, while at the same time being a love letter to movies, to which you were all too happy to agree with. Explain to me which part of this sin is comedic, has merit, and is a love letter to this movie. Because if you can't, this ain't a pretty good summary of what you do. What you actually do is make terrible points about movies and hide behind your blind fanboys who make excuses for you when you get called out.
Reveal of the dead mother just in case the viewer assumes that it was their dog that died or something.
Pretending you didn't just spend 2 sins complaining that you didn't know what the movie was trying to say.
This is the same angry lawyer who just got pissed about some dead guy's will, right? And his immediate thought is to go rape some boarding house girl? And this specific girl?
Some boarding house girl? This is his stepdaughter, Einstein. And this specific girl? Have you seen Emily Browning?
Then he, changes his mind, I guess, and turns to go rape someone else, but then shows he also has the key to this girl's room. He went from lawyer to slave-owning dungeon master in like 10 seconds.
Where the heck are you getting that he's a lawyer? And Babydoll and her sister are his stepdaughters. He's angry because when their mother died, she left everything to them. Pay attention.
Look, movie, at this point I'm going to have to refuse to care about anything I see on screen until it slightly remotely makes a modicum of sense.
Things people that used to watch CinemaSins say.
Oh, she's hanging from a thing, and that one guy is kicking something, and yet I feel nothing.
I'm going to explain this for the audience because CinemaSins clearly doesn't care about them. Babydoll's sister is hiding in a closet, and the man is trying to kick down the door to the closet. Babydoll is trying to escape her locked room to save her, so she went out the window to do so. See? Was that so hard?
Where did she get the gun? Oh, I already don't care.
From the lockbox that was shown literal seconds ago. Fun fact, this is an M1911 Browning. The main actress is Emily Browning. Coincidence? I think not.
This girl is a stormtrooper-level terrible shot. She is 5 feet away from a pretty large man and still misses.
For someone who has never fired a weapon before, this is entirely feasible, especially with a .45 caliber pistol. I'm surprised she didn't accidentally shoot herself.
So did the bullet ricochet off the light bulb, then off the steam pipe, and then into the sister's head?
It's amazing that you can continuously get away with scene manipulation and none of your fans seem to care. I mean, I know no one saw this movie, but still. Babydoll shoots twice. The second shot hits her stepfather in the arm, and that was the one that killed her sister.
I have no idea if this was once a custom, but I'm sinning this house for having the name of the house and the city and state on the sign, like a goddamn expositional warning beacon.
Except you know this is a thing because you've seen the X-Men movies already, and you know Xavier's school has a sign just like this.
I've been watching this movie for 5 straight minutes, and I have no earthly idea why she's being committed. Does that say more about me or the movie?
I think the fact that you can't answer that question answers that question.
Also, you can kind of make out the faint pink of her clothing. Otherwise, it's black and white, which is par for the course on a Zack Snyder film. Mute the colors, mute the characters, mute the story.
What is happening here is a deliberate choice. This movie is told from the perspective of Babydoll and how she views the world. In her life, everything is dire, dark, and drab. When she dances, she imagines herself in more colorful and vibrant worlds to escape her drab reality.
Female, age 20.
Wait, 20? Why didn't she just run away with her sister after her mother died?
Because running away with no money, friends, or family is kind of a bad idea? Is that a real question?
Polish therapy.
That's racist.
That's stupid.
Goddamn, Carla Gugino. Is there any comic graphic novel adaptation you won't star in? Watchmen? Sin City? This? What's that you say? This isn't an adaptation of a comic? Zack Snyder actually wrote this movie? Wow. That kind of explains things.
Jeremy thinks just saying a lot of random words that don't mean anything count as sins. This actor was in a lot of comic movies? This movie is not a comic adaptation? Zack Snyder wrote this? I mean, what the hell are you trying to say?
Don't worry. She won't even remember her name when I'm done with her.
But until you're actually done with her, is this a smart thing to say?
Yeah? I mean, why would he say it after he's done with her, when she will remember it?
What the is going on?
Putting a box on the shelf?
Seriously, what the is going on?
Chores, motherfucker, do you clean it?
Also, most of the budget clearly went to CGI, but the other thing they spent a load of money on was eyeshadow.
Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche. In this case, makeup.
So, how'd you become an orphan?
That's a question that basically never needs answering, as the answer is likely to include abandonment, suicide, and other horrors orphan children are better off not thinking about.
I would argue that repressing these thoughts actually leads to more harm in the long run. Seriously, people, if you need help or are dealing with depression, please seek help and reach out to those you love. Not to me, because I'm an asshole, but someone that cares about you.
These are the rooms where we take the clients.
Discount Bunny Ranch.
Oh, trust me, there is nothing discount about this. These orderlies were pimping these mentally disturbed girls out. Yeah, this movie's dark.
She looks stuck up to me.
Why does the brothel have a ballet practice room? And why are so many of the prostitutes here into ballet?
This is not real. There are multiple levels to this movie, similar to Inception. In this reality, Babydoll imagines that she and everyone else are dancers.
Everybody gets a dance, a routine. We practice it, we practice it, we practice it.
This is a needlessly complicated way to run a whorehouse. Is there a rival whorehouse across town where the girls are all really talented artists, and whoever's painting the client likes best is the one he chooses? Of course there's not a rival whorehouse. This is a fantasy world.
Oh, so you do realize this is a fantasy world. Jeremy feigns ignorance cliche.
And if prostituting wasn't enough, she has to clean the floor like fucking Little Orphan Annie.
This is typically how sex-trafficked people are treated. Poorly. Welcome to 2000 BCE.
I realize she's having some kind of vision right now, but, they stopped her last time for not dancing by this point in the song. And here she is again, not dancing by this point in the song. I'm just saying, somehow they got more lenient.
These fight sequences are visual metaphors for her abuse in the stripper reality, which is itself another metaphor for surviving being sexually exploited by the orderlies of the asylum. She never actually dances in the fantasy, Jeremy. Jesus.
These are your weapons.
Okay, cool, but what?
Dude, just watch the goddamn movie and maybe, just maybe, you might begin to understand it. You already recognize that she's in a fantasy world in her mind, so it's obvious that she has to fight her inner demons.
There's a map, and fire, a knife, and a key. The fifth thing is a mystery.
Sounds like someone forgot what the fifth thing was.
The Wise Men is a representation of Babydoll's subconscious. When he lists off the things she needs to escape the asylum, it is her remembering the things she saw on the way in the asylum. The fifth thing she needs is a sacrifice, which he clearly states after the part you conveniently cut off.
He said 5 things.
The fifth thing is a mystery. It is the reason. It is the goal. It will be a deep sacrifice and a perfect victory.
This girl goes from captive to warrior in like unbelievable record time, yo.
This is a fantasy movie that is all in her head.
She survives this, or gets kicked back a level. I don't know what the rules are.
Fantasy movie!
After getting flung around by a creature that clearly has the upper hand, her sword is suddenly surging with stopping power.
Alright, you've earned an additional 50 cents for taking the fantasy elements of this movie at face value.
When the hell did she get these Neo powers?
The same time she got the schoolgirl outfit and a katana. Never worry 33rd.
I hope you're not too interested in this mind-blowing dance Babydoll performs, because we never f***ing see it.
That is precisely the point. You saw the action sequence, which is the metaphor for her dancing. What's really going to blow your mind is that Babydoll isn't even dancing, nor is she a real person. But more on that later.
Here are all the things we'll need to escape. I'll write them really big right here in the public room.
Which she wrote on a chalkboard that she flipped over to do so. In this imaginary world that you're taking seriously for some reason.
How do you plan on getting these things?
Good question.
Makes the ding sound, but the sin counter doesn't move. Admittedly, this happens a lot in CinemaSins' videos, and I rarely point it out, but recently people have begun to point this out in my videos, not realizing that this series is mocking CinemaSins, and that it was done purposefully to that end. So there.
Whoever has the item we need, We get them to watch me dance.
Last time you danced, all I saw was some weird-ass bullshit olden-time samurai battle in the snow. So what did they see different that will make them sign up for the cause?
In the dancing reality, they are seeing a sexy striptease that essentially hypnotizes them. This is a metaphor for how men are essentially blinded by a woman's physical attributes and think with the little guy. In fact, this entire movie is about female sexual empowerment and taking control of their sexuality.
No, as long as I'm dancing, they won't even know you're there.
God damn, this girl is fucking high on her own seductiveness.
As I just mentioned, this movie is about women realizing the power they have when they use their sexuality to their advantage. Are you starting to get the metaphor yet?
Second thing we need is something to start a fire with, as a distraction for when we escape.
Because fire is the only distraction people will believe.
Or fire is a type of distraction that will kill your ass if you aren't distracted by it?
If the girls just get to roam free, you'd think that Blue would lock the door to his office, but then you might remember that this is just Babydoll's daydream.
Here is what I was talking about earlier. This movie is actually Sweet Pea's daydream. Didn't you recognize who was narrating at the beginning?
Everyone has an angel, a guardian who watches over us.
Babydoll is a representation of her. When her sister dies at the beginning of the film, this is the representation of Rocket getting killed. There is a reason that when Babydoll gets lobotomized at the end, it's Sweet Pea who escapes.
This was never my story. It's yours.
This is meant to represent her escaping in her mind. That's why this movie is called Sucker Punch, because you didn't see that coming.
I guess Babydoll has only been exposed to terrible things, because she seems incapable of dreaming up anything a normal, well-adjusted person would dream up. Someone please explain Hawaii to this girl.
This is because Sweet Pea Babydoll has only known horrors in her life, and these action set pieces are meant to demonstrate her fighting for her life in the real world.
No one involved in the production of this movie said anything about dick blimps.
Hey Jeremy, if your dick looks like gray goldfish crackers, I'd suggest you see a doctor about that.
They're using steam power and clockworks to keep them moving.
What?
Oh, you didn't hear him? He said,
They're using steam power and clockworks to keep them moving.
Here, a handgun will take down a fighter plane, because why not?
Apparently, Jeremy believes shooting a plane's engine multiple times is not enough to take it out. Dude, a duck can take out a plane's engine.
This is some pretty advanced technology for what looks like dystopian steampunk World War I. Babydoll's reality only gets us to the 50s-ish, so she would have no way of imagining anything like this.
This was exactly my point. None of this movie is real. When Babydoll is in her base reality, this is yet another level that Sweet Pea is imagining. Babydoll's base reality is meant to show the early days of second wave feminism, which was in the 60s and dealt with, you guessed it, women's sexuality.
Von so weit weg hergekommen.
Not really, she's just imagining all this.
Don't you think that's exactly what they meant, Mr. Literal?
Field Marshal Monster von Zombieberg. What the hell was that?
She fires at him several times, but somehow, even while missing him, she still misses the giant balloon airship.
She probably did hit the blimp, but blimps are enormous and are made from materials that make them difficult to shoot down without incendiary rounds. Besides, this is not real.
Yep, definitely still watching fantasies here, and not reality. Everyone's still back at the ladies' sex prison, and this is all a really expensive dream.
Recognizes that this is all a dream, still questions the logic inside the dream.
Now she's deflecting bullets with a sword? Jesus, exactly how Jackie Chan was she before the imprisonment?
Recognizes that this is all a dream, still questions the logic inside the dream.
Well, Jamie Chung Pacific rimmed here just at the perfect moment. My real question is, how did Blondie know that was going to happen? Because if it doesn't happen, Blondie is dead, no?
Blondie is actually Vanessa Hudgens' character, so you're screwing up characters' names. Cinema wins.
Also, from what I can figure, these girls aren't prostitutes, but are instead dancers, and men pay big money to see them dance in a rehearsal space. But every time they dance, we, the audience, see some kind of battle that isn't actually real. Do I have all that right? Because if so, this movie.
I personally believe it's kind of clever. When the men are abusing the women, they view it as a striptease, which is, for all intents and purposes, harmless fun. In reality, what men may have viewed as harmless fun was actually sexual abuse, so it's an apt metaphor on that level. When we, the audience, see the fighting that the women are doing, we are watching their internal struggles and are meant to root for them. A lot of people that didn't understand the themes this movie was trying to explore also felt the way you do, and I'm here to say, y'all just didn't get it.
Have you just ever wanted to just take something back? You know, something you said, something you did.
Yep, the no gravity and space wording on that sin from the Avengers video. Oh wait, you weren't talking to me directly, were you?
See, CinemaSins fanboys? This is CinemaSins stating plainly that they made a mistake and wish they could take it back. If this was all satire and not meant to be taken seriously, there would be no reason for them to want to take back a mistake they made. Checkmate, atheists.
So this plane only has one propeller, yet it's still allowed to fly normally. I can't fault Babydoll for not knowing how planes work. Wait, yes I can.
This plane actually has a modern jet engine on the right side, so it actually is using 2 engines. Besides, B-25 Mitchells were able to fly with one propeller all the time. They were designed that way. The only issue I can see for this design is the different thrust on the wings, which could be accounted for with sound engineering.
Now I'll get back to Egypt and activate Lilu.
Jeremy makes a pop culture reference.
Hey, Dad, you ugly mother!
She doesn't say f so we can maintain the PG-13 rating, all while exposing 13-year-olds to the idea of the word f. You can bleep out all you want, but everyone knows what you're f***ing saying.
The amount of irony in this sin is astounding. I mean, sure, he's being self-referential here, but he's still giving the movie a sin, implying that this is something wrong with Sucker Punch.
It's the fraternity of performers.
This would be a sorority.
Actually, Blue is correct here, as a fraternity can refer to males and females. It's similar to the word mankind in how it's referring to humans as a whole and not just men.
I need this bullshit to stop!
But what bullshit? They danced. The fat man with the cigar loved it and clapped. Where is the bullshit?
The bullshit that you skipped in order to make this bullshit sin.
It's not like any of you have anything to hide, is it? No. It's not like anyone was in my office messing with my shit. It's not like people are missing things, you know, small objects here and there. No, that would be outrageous. That would be crazy.
And now for no reason here's Saturn in the background, because this shit is suddenly taking place in either space or another dimension where Saturn is this fucking huge and visible from Earth.
What the hell makes you think this is Earth? Hell, that's not even Saturn, as Saturn's ring system is like 2 times larger than that.
Wait, if her dancing is what puts people in a trance, then why is the absence of music a problem? Unless it's actually the music that ensnares fat men, just keep dancing.
What happened here is that the loss of the music broke her concentration. Besides, don't you find dancing to no music kind of awkward and jarring?
So,
Is the rampant murdering without consequence supposed to be a metaphor for lobotomies? Or did the mental hospital actually kill them?
The entire movie is a fantasy. This is all happening in Sweet Pea's head because she is a mental patient in an asylum who is about to be lobotomized.
okay.
Well, I feel like the guy who showed up so late to the party, he's the only guy not understanding the 3-hour-old inside joke. Shrink? Patient? Prisoner? Ninja? Why does the movie even think I give a shit anymore?
In case all this blabbing was difficult for you audience members, CinemaSins is stating that they don't know if Blue is actually an orderly here. The problem is that in like 15 seconds it is demonstrated that he is in fact an orderly.
Get him out of here.
They took her away. Too late, though. She's already corrupted. And the rest...
Skip!